Hello everyone, Jerry Smith here at the Blockade Runner. Thanks for joining us today. Today we've got Todd Watts with us, Master Gunsmith, Gunsmith to the Stars, and he's going to tell us a little bit about taking care of our muskets. Now Todd, a couple of years ago I made a video about cleaning the guns out at the event and then when you bring them home, but I was reviewing them the other day and I didn't really go into a lot of detail and I didn't show them details of the gun. And I thought maybe you could do that for us and kind of give them a little a better example of it. Now, just for everyone's information, I don't want to say Todd and I have a history, but our families used to live next door to each other in New Jersey in 1740. So we're neighbors. We're sort of connected here. So Todd, if you could just sort of give them the rundown on when you're out in the field and you come back in from a skirmishing, how do you need to take care of your gun so it doesn't rust up on you overnight?
What you want to do is as quickly as you can start the cleaning process. A trick I've learned over the years from some of the old hats is as soon as you're sure that the demonstration or the firing is done for the day, go ahead and plug your barrel as best you can and dump some canteen water in it. That reduces the likelihood that it's actually going to bake into a cake that's harder to get out. Now what I do is I use your foam earplug. This one's been used quite a bit. And you just pinch it there between the nipple and the hammer, and that seals your breech very well. Much better than an old paper patch or a piece of cap that people have been known to use. Then, right from your canteen, don't have to be hot water. Pour some water into the barrel, roughly about halfway up. Plug it with your thumb, and you rotate it back and forth. Back and forth. Coat the entire inside with water and then just dump it. That has started the process. When you get back to camp, now it's time to actually do a better cleaning. A field cleaning, most of the time we don't disassemble the gun in the field. The soldiers would not have either. It's just a matter of, it's a lot of work. It doesn't need to be done for just a real simple camp cleaning. Same process. Plug the breech with the nipple with the foam earplug and water in the barrel. Repeat the process of sloshing it back and forth several times. It does not have to be hot water. Hot water does work better, but cold water seems to work just as well. And I rarely take the time myself to boil the water like some people do. And I clean, of course, in my shop, 20 or 30 a week. So it's plain old water is just all I rarely ever use. I do sometimes add soap if it's really, really filthy. Dawn dish detergent, something like that, helps to break it up some. But again, I'm not entirely sure that it works any better than just water. Once you have wetted the barrel, you've dumped it several times, then, and only then, put in your patch. Do not ever put a worm and a patch into a dry, fouled barrel, or you will be bringing it to me to get it taken out. If you do happen to get one stuck in there, it's not a lost cause. What has happened is the fouling cake, which is still dry, has swaged itself against the bore and against the tight-fitted patch. Simply pour some water around the stuck rammer and work it up and down bit by bit, just like that, and it'll eventually break and then you can get it out. Then, by all means, wet the barrel. Anytime you get one that is stuck, it's because you've got fouling in there. But go in, twist it to the right a couple times, pull it back out. And this is actually from a cleaned musket. I don't know if you can tell, but it's a lot of brown coming out. That's rusting fouling. These guns will rust even clean over time. This gun was cleaned pretty well about a month ago. So you see it's already starting to rust again. So I will need to clean it again if I really want to take care of it. You just do this over and over. Always turn it to the right so you don't lose your patch. After you've done this until the patches start coming out fairly clean, dump more water in it, rinse it out, repeat. Do it as often as you want. Now, you can buy the brush, but I have learned here recently that one thing I've done is these little Scotch-Brite pads. You can buy them at Lowe's or hardware stores. You can cut them in these little 1-inch squares. They pierce just like a patch, and they do a pretty good job of getting in there and turning. This one here is going to be a little tighter than I want, so I'm not going to back out. Don't ever force them in. If they don't want to go in, don't force them. What I'm going to do here then is I'm going to do it lengthwise. I'm going to run it in like that. And it acts kind of like a brush. Turn it to the right. I'm scrubbing the breech this way. You don't need a breech brush. You don't need a scraper. Work just like a brush and totally reusable. Rinse it out. It'll last forever. Once you've done all this, you've got the gun cleaned out, dried in the bore, then go to the nipple cone. Take your foam air plug out and remove with your nipple wrench, your cone wrench. I say that because the technical term for this part is the cone. The nipple is just the top piece. Put that in my mouth usually and just swish it around. Saliva does a real good job of breaking up the crud. Now, this area is difficult to clean. If you look in there, you'll see a little hole. It should be an empty cup with a little hole going into the breech. After firing a lot, it'll cake up. You'll still have a hole, but there'll be a cake buildup. Once you get all this in here wet, that hole is going to close up over time and become solid. The only way to get that out is to chip it out. You can get a little metal pick or a little jeweler screwdriver and stick it in there and just tap it and break it up and get it out. You can also squirt it with some oil, ballistol, something like that, and let's let it soak, and that will break it up pretty good. But you want to get in there and clean that out. Q-tips, even if you don't have that in the field, you can use a little piece of screwdriver and a piece of patch. Go in there and twist it around a few times to dry it out. But you want to make sure you have a hole there. Now, once you're 100% sure this thing is cleaned out, and only then, I do that. What you're doing there is you're blowing any moisture in the breech back out the vent. You can get in there and dry it out again. Please do not do that until you're 100% sure you have cleaned it. The moisture will come out there, dry it out. Make sure you can see through the cone. You can see a little beam of light in there. Blow it out like that if you have to. A drop of oil or just a hint of oil on the threads. No more than that. And you put your cone back in. It should only be finger tight. I've seen people get in there with a wrench and just crank that thing down. Somehow, assuming it's going to come out, it's not coming out. But if you do that too much, torquing it down, you will get it stuck. Okay? And that is pretty much all there is to cleaning the inside of the gun. Now, lightly oil the patch. Wipe the outside metal pieces down with a lightly oiled patch. Use a lightly oiled patch on a wiper worm inside the bore, and that's all you got to do. And your gun is ready for the next day.
What's the most common mistake you see guys doing when they come into camp to clean their guns?
I call it the reenactor cleaning. It's been around forever. They dump a little bit of water in the barrel, slosh it around a couple times, dump it, and then they hang the gun by the sling or something up on a limb and just let it drip dry. Well, what you have done, yes, you've knocked out some of the crud. It'll make it work better tomorrow. But you've also put water back here in the bolster area. It's not going to drip out. It's just going to sit there and it's going to solidify. And that's when I see these guys that bring these guns to my shop, and it is a solid mass like concrete back there. And I have to go in there sometimes with a Dremel tool if it's really bad and drill it out.
Good grief.
It becomes like concrete. You can't hardly get it out with water.
Wonderful. Well, I think you really covered it very well. Okay, well, hope that was helpful, everyone. Todd, thanks so much for coming by today. Appreciate it, brother.
Welcome.
All right. Come back and see us again. Remember, Blockade Runner. We're here all the time.